Teachers at the Ocho Rios Primary School in St. Anne staged a protest this afternoon after the institution's vice principal and a parent got into a scuffle over a cell phone. A teacher reportedly confiscated the device from a grade 4 student who was allegedly using it in class and took it to the vice principal. The child's parent turned up at the institution requesting that the device be handed over to her. When the demand was not met, it's alleged that a physical altercation ensued. The incident was reported to the Ocho Rios police. Following the incident, disgruntled colleagues of the female vice principal walked out of classes, taking to the street in front of the school to voice their displeasure over the situation. Bearing placards that called for an end to violence against teachers, the educators demanded justice for their colleague.
Ocho Rios Primary School. A parent came here this morning and fought our VP, and we don't want any apology. We're not accepting any apology. Apology is not enough. Violence against teachers need to stop.
Another teacher stressed that violence has no place in schools.
We are all frustrated and we are standing in solidarity with our teacher. In fact, is a vice principal, and this has happened. This cannot continue. It cannot continue.
Teachers of the Ocho Rios Primary School in St. Anne. The parent involved has denied the claims that she attacked the female vice principal. Head of the St. Andrew South Police, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, says various gangs which are operating in the division are recruiting children to carry out their crimes. Speaking at the St. Andrew South Police Week Symposium at the Hunts Bay Police Station this morning, SSP Ricketts said St. Andrew South has over 70 gangs, with the majority of them being staffed by youngsters. SSP Ricketts warned students that they are easy targets for recruitment due to their innocence and naivety.
The problem that you face is the impact of crime and violence in the community and gangs. Most of the communities that you are from, or even some of the schools, have a lot of gangs. What I found out is that most of these gangs are being staffed by youngsters. The young boys and girls are now becoming gangsters, are doing work for the gangs, because it's easy to influence the youngsters to do these things. St. Andrew South have the most gangs in Jamaica. We have over 70 gangs across the communities in this space. Nowhere else in Jamaica have so many gangs. And of that 70 gangs, we have over 40 of them. Very, very active, meaning that them shooting people, robbing people, do all kind of stuff. And most of these gangs are made up by youngsters who know them one another, who grew up together and went to school together. Some of them 13, 14, 15.
He implored students to take education seriously, as it is their main gateway from gang recruitment and crime and violence.
Young people in the gangs, some of them drop out of school, some of them can't read and can't write, but they're firing rifles that bigger than them, and their life on earth is normally very short. So we have a high rate of fatalities in this space, murders, youngsters being shot and killed by their cronies. So what I want to do is to tell you youngsters that I know the temptations you have and the distractions you have. Sometimes in schoolwork might get on the back burner, but it's extremely important that you grab on to education as you climb out of where you found yourself.
Head of the St. Andrew South Police, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts. The Education Ministry is assuring the public that it is committed to providing cooked lunches, snacks and breakfast to as many needy students as possible. The assurance comes in the wake of a communique released to parents of the Edwin Allen High School last week. The school administration had informed parents that arrangements for students on the program of advancement through health and education path to receive lunches for 3 days each week would be discontinued effective effective November 18. The school administration noted that once additional PATH funds were received from the government, the arrangement would resume. The communique, which has been circulating on social media, has sparked outrage among some citizens who expressed concern over whether or not the school feeding program remains a priority for the government. In a release today, the Education Ministry confirmed its commitment to the program, adding that it remains a priority budget item. The ministry also noted that funding is dispersed to schools to provide cooked lunches for students on the basis that once meals are prepared in large quantities, the schools are able to reap the benefits of economy of scale. Thus, students should be able to be fed for the agreed period. In the case of Edwin Allen High, the ministry said it provided the school with over $8.8 million for 907 PATH students for the Christmas term. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Holness, sought to defend the government's commitment to the school feeding program at the Jamaica Labour Party's 79th annual conference at the National Arena in Kingston yesterday.
Labour rights, in 2016, when we became government, I remember PATH students got meals 2 times for the week. 2. Under this Jamaica Labour Party government, meals are provided for our PATH students 5 days of the school week. So Labour rights, when you look around, look at the team, a smarter team, a stronger team, stronger women, stronger men, stronger leadership, building a stronger nation.
Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Holness. Meantime, the People's National Party PNP will be holding an executive meeting tonight to determine how it will vote on the states of emergency at tomorrow's sitting of Parliament. Speaking at a St. James Central constituency conference last evening, PNP President Mark Golding noted that the SOEs continue to abridge the rights of citizens. He acknowledged the high level of crime in Jamaica, but said SOEs are not the solution.
We understand the pain and the fear that the people are living in because crime is out of control. But you know, the way to solve it is not by abusing the Constitution or imposing measures which are not in keeping with the general rights that have been fought for over many, many years, centuries in fact, to take us where we are now. We are going to be discussing this issue at a joint parliamentary executive meeting, and we will take our decision as to what we will do on Tuesday in the House when the resolution comes to extend the state of emergency.
PNP President Mark Golding. Jamaica Labour Party Chairman Robert Montague says law-abiding Jamaicans should be allowed visa-free entry to the country's major trading partners. Addressing the 79th annual conference of the JLP yesterday, Mr. Montague said the requirement of a visa does not lead to enhanced security. He said the JLP would be discussing the issue with hopes of bringing it to Parliament if there is agreement on the subject. Jamaica's main trading partners which require visa for travel include the United States, Canada and the United Kingdom.
The Labour Party must have a discussion within the halls and the organs and the affiliates of the party, because in our 68th year as a nation, I want my party to take a position. I want my party to discuss a position, take a position after all the discussion, because I am of the view that it is full-time, law-abiding Jamaicans be allowed to travel to our major trading partners without the need for a visa. We as a party must have that discussion, and if the party agree, then we approach the government. And if the government agree, then the government approach our partners, because we have a duty to protect the security of our partners. Having an interview for 3 minutes and then grant a 1-year, 5-year, or a 10-year visa, you don't see back the person until it's time for renewal, don't enhance security. Law-abiding Jamaicans must be rewarded, and I believe that we are on the right track.
JLP Chairman Robert Montague. A St. Andrew man who for 5 years has sought to have his conviction squashed and sentences set aside was today granted bail. 54-year-old John Murray, who was waiting since 2017 for the transcript of his trial for his appeal to be heard, was offered bail by the Court of Appeal in the sum of $50,000 in his own surety, pending the production of the transcript. The court was informed that the transcript will be ready by January next year. Murray was convicted of charges relating to robbery with aggravation and illegal possession of firearm and sentenced in 2017 to a total of 7 years imprisonment. The offense took place in Manchester. Murray would have already served his sentence if he did not appeal against his convictions and sentence.